Welcome everybody to That's Game Stuff, our monthly kind of monthly show about all things gaming.
When we want.
This week we are just going to talk about Starfield because that's the thing everyone's talking about, and that's the thing we're doing. So we're going to give you our first impressions of Starfield, and hopefully the month after we will share our final thoughts on Starfield. But before we get to that, let's get through some of this news. So, video game sales, kind of hard to find. This one's for July. I don't think August is out yet. But as you can see, if you guys remember back then, Remnant 2 was all the talk on Steam and everyone was playing
play it.
Diablo 4?
That's the third-person Dark Souls game. Dark Souls-like game.
It's like shooting.
Yeah.
And then Diablo 4 was the other big game that came out. I haven't heard a lot about that. Did you guys hear about that?
People love that flipping game, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone who plays it just gets devoured by it and never stops playing it. I'm like, I don't know.
So not shown here is the two other games that came out, Armored Core. And then what was I always forget the RPG's name.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3, yeah. The bear romance.
The game about nudity.
Yeah. It's like anyone who doesn't play Starfield plays that one. So, and then just a few notes. Talking about Starfield, the director said that they didn't pick ground vehicles in because it would change the game too much. AKA, they just didn't want to, I guess. They did. It was too hard.
Man, I could use a good ground vehicle.
I know. I was thinking about that because we'll talk about it, but I think you could use a Mako-like vehicle on this.
Give me a bicycle or something, you know?
Bicycle.
Give me a moon bike.
Let me ride the robot that travels with you.
True. Take it.
Eternal Document says the PlayStation 6 is coming in 2028. Pretty dang soon, I guess.
I have time.
Yeah. PlayStation handheld's going to be around $200. Did anyone call that?
I thought we had a price last time Michael talked about it.
Well, everyone was saying it would have to be either 200 or below. I think most people were hoping for at least 150 because of its like limited capabilities. But
I liked everyone that talked about it. Even IGN was like, "What is this for?" Why?
Yeah, is this for the dads who can't use their TV because their kids watching PJ Masks? That's who this is for.
And then they're like, for that price, you could just get a pretty decent TV. Like,
everyone's like, just get a Steam or just say get a Steam Deck.
Have you guys heard of that Only Up game?
Yes, the game is so ridiculous. I want to play it though.
So it's been taken down from Steam.
Oh no, never mind then.
The developer says it causes him too much stress.
What is this, Flappy Bird again?
Yes, Flappy Bird.
Same scenario. Guy. He just made a different game.
Poor guy just can't have a game.
I just want a game to fail, man.
Charles Martinet, he's retiring from Mario voicing.
Oh my god! What are we gonna do?
He's gonna be an ambassador.
Chris Pratt is now the voice of all Mario.
He's gonna be the ambassador for Nintendo. Just go around and shake hands and stuff like that. They'll be like, "Do the voice, Daddy."
When you actually meet him, he's like, "Wahoo!" And he's like shaking your head.
Wahoo, mother ever! Whoa, Mario!
And then Switch 2 document says that it's going to have more RAM than the Xbox Series S.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
Much better than the Switch, at least.
Yeah, poor little thing. And then we had a Gamescom recently. Michael, I think you're the only one that watched it. So can you give us like a report of what you saw and what you liked?
I mean, it was mostly like that show is always like low expectations, just seeing more of games that they announced at the beginning or they talked about all summer. So it was just like deeper dives into. Although the biggest thing they kept promising was much deeper dive into Alan Wake, and it wasn't really that deep. It was just kind of like, okay, that's more of just what you've already seen. I was hoping for like a bit more of a gameplay.
You're
demo.
hoping it drowned in news, and you just got a little splash.
But so this one,
I think the biggest thing that came out of it was that guy who ran on stage during.
Oh my god! Within
Jeff's,
like 5 minutes, and Jeff's just like, Jeff. I mean,
trying to make Jeff more interesting, but sorry, it just didn't work.
I was actually impressed with how little he reacted to it. It's like some weird.
I was like, do stage. Something, Jeff.
That's true. I was like, he kind of looks like, what is going on? Like, you think he would know, hey, this isn't supposed to happen. But security was so slow. Like, they should have been on that dude in an instant. Like, what the heck? That was so ridiculous.
Now people know you can run up there and talk to Jeff.
That's what I said in our chat. I was like, they're going to have a wall at Game Awards this time. It's going to be like a concert wall with a bunch of security dudes. Like,
he's such a, I don't know, like a robot or something. He's like, I don't know how to interact
he's an
with
alien.
humans.
Hideo Kojima just created Jeff Keighley. He's not a real person.
Wasn't it like the guy who ran up, the same guy that ran up not too long ago? No,
I think everyone was like guessing or wondering that, but he was saying some of the same things, I think. Or no, he was talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 is what he wanted.
Yeah, he was talking about Grand Theft Auto for some reason.
Who knows, man? So weird.
Game of the year or something. I don't know.
yeah. Gamers are freaking weird, man.
All right, Starfield. I was gonna do a video of my guy because I wanted him to look like Kirk, and his name is Kirk. So it's cool when you interact with people. They go, Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
But he didn't come out looking too great like him. So if you guys have stats for me to create the perfect Captain Kirk, I'm sure you'll post that on the internet at some time.
Someone's got to do it.
So Joseph's character just looks like Chris Pine. William Shatner.
Wrong Kirk. So Starfield, Bathsheba's game, the Xbox savior, I guess, is what it was touted as. It's a role-playing game. It takes place in space. Very open world. Very dialogue heavy.
Is it open world or open universe?
Dang. But yeah. So what?
Joseph, you're a robot. You get mad at Jeff Keighley. You can't.
He's like,
you can't roll with punches.
Try with the humor. Nope.
Now you made me lose my train of thought.
See, it's not so easy getting mad at Jeff Keighley.
I'm gonna run up on that stage next time.
And there'll just be two robots. Oh, I don't know what to do. What is he doing?
What would you demand if you ran on stage, Joseph?
I'd be like, what's a good lost game? Bring back KOTOR or something. I don't know. That's lame. It'd have to be really obscure. But he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know what I was talking about.
But HD remaster of Toy Pop. Let's go.
Let's do it. And people are all just confused.
Like, what the heck is Toy Pop?
Michael and that one dude who made it are just like, yeah.
Like, yes.
So Starfield, I've only played about 10 hours, maybe a little over than that. Been kind of busy. So I'm going to hand it off to you guys right away and just tell us what your first impressions are of playing this game. So go ahead, Jared. Tell us your first impression.
Michael can go first.
I can go first. How much
I was going to save him for last, but
how much have you?
I was going to go from
I've played probably the same amount, a little more. I played all day yesterday.
Nice.
And I played 2 hours the night before, but I didn't like the character, so I just made a new one.
You deleted your character?
How he looks?
Yeah, I try to make him look. What did I try?
Because you can change.
I tried Obi-Wan.
You can change how you look anywhere.
I just started over.
You're like, this is just. Oh.
I was just upset. It didn't look like Obi-Wan, so I just made my Shepard from Mass Effect. And then I named him Shepard.
My first impression, real fast, is this game gives me a lot of Mass Effect vibes. Because it's like,
beacon.
Yeah, you run away, you're touching the beacon.
Yeah,
and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" But go ahead.
I made my guy Shepard, and it's pretty much just playing like Mass Effect again. Because the whole beacon thing like threw me off. I was like, "Oh man, this is just Mass Effect again."
Maybe we should start with that before we get into like a deeper review. Let's start with like how we started, because it gives you like, kind of you get knocked out and they do that typical thing. Hey, remember who you were?
Yeah.
Tell us who you are.
Tell us what your face looks like, please.
So, like I said, I try to make Kirk. I'm a space scoundrel because Han Solo vibes. And then
but that's not Kirk. Is that Kirk?
He's a little bit of a scoundrel.
No, he's just a ladies' man.
Yeah. And then they give you 3. I think they call them abilities or
traits,
right? Traits, something with an A. But so I chose Taskmaster. So my guy's like mean to the crew and makes them fix the ship. Then I tried Spaced. So my guy's from space and he doesn't do too well on the ground. He's like over there coughing and he gets that CO2 real fast. But he's better in space. And then I did Hero Worship. So I get the Conrad Murder guy.
Did you get that guy?
Yeah, you meet him like right away. He's like, "You're my hero," and I'm like, "Okay, come on my team." I didn't even ask him details or anything because the options are usually like, "Get away from me, you're weird" or something. I'm just like, "Yeah, just hop on board."
So he's just always in the corner of your ship, like smiling.
No, he talks a lot. He's always like, "Oh, you're the best."
You allowed him on the ship?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't agree to this, man.
He was like my second party member. He's just right away him and that chick. And then he just like every time we lift off, he goes, "Wee!" And then I'm playing this game in third person because I think it looks good in third person. So, what about your options? What'd you guys do?
So I went with a diplomat.
Ooh.
Because he's the first. Crap! I forgot all my Mass Effect knowledge.
First human Spectre.
And then the traits, I guess, I went with empath, and then like on the first planet Mars. You go to Mars, and they're like, "Hey, you want to get rid of that?" Some doctor's like, "You can get rid of that forever," and I was like, "No, I chose that." And then I chose Hero Worshipped.
Oh, you got him too?
Yeah. And then he was like, "I'll be your sidekick," and I was like, "No." And I was like, "You can watch from afar," and he's like, "I will."
You're mean to him?
You can watch from afar.
And then I did Raised Universal. Whatever the one of 3 religions was.
Okay.
But yeah, I just made my guy look like my Shepard from the Mass Effect series.
Does he run like him? My guy runs weird.
I kind of wanted to give him the more like female run, like walk cycle. Because it looked like a Titan. He was like, What'd you choose,
Michael?
I don't remember half of my picks from the beginning. Like I didn't take notes. I know I did empath. I did the neon background. So I was like, I always have that option of like, I'm a neon rat. And I'm like, I know this place. I grew up in hard times. What? Because I kind of went for like a more cranky Han Solo character vibey thing. And then my character is just like, I just picked things that I liked throughout the character customization. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then, of course, you get out of it. And I'm like, my dude looks so bad. Oh, my gosh. So
you do that every character creator.
So I immediately went, I looked up, I was like, where do you change your face? Went over and changed my face. So I kept like the same kind of face, but I just enhanced it so it didn't look so weird. Because I tried that like a white hair with the blue undertone or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a really like interesting kind of cool look. It just looks dumb whenever you're outside of everything else and you just look weird around everyone else. I'm like, okay, I got to change it. I just went with like dark. But character customization is pretty disappointing for me. Like the options, there's so few hairs. Like there are so many people, and they said they made all the people with the character customization in the game. And I'm like, then you should have more hairs. You should have way more hairs. Like I don't know.
They don't have a lot of hairs.
They have so few hairs. I'm like, it's so important. It's so important for a game like this. I want my guy to feel unique. So that was a little disappointing. The facial stuff I thought was really good, though.
Balding in this game looks disgusting.
It does. They all look. Guy,
yeah, there's like random hairs coming out. It's gross.
There was this angry spaceport guy that I just talked to a bit ago, and he was balding, and he's real angry, and he kind of was a little overweight, and he looked like he had a grease stain on his shirt, and he's just fitting the whole vibe of gross, unfortunately. But yeah, my character is fine. Don't remember at all. I know I did empath. I didn't do any of the religions. I didn't do any of the ones that were like one-time things, because religion is a lot like, hey, you get access to this chest. I'm like, I don't care about that. So I did a lot of the individual.
A lot of anxiety when you level up, like because you get like 1 point.
I need way more
every
points
time.
Though.
Yeah,
I just hit.
I get like 1 point, and then there's so much good crap that I could use all of it, but I have to choose one.
Well, games like this, my absolute biggest pet peeve is not being able to do persuasion in conversations. That and lockpicking. So it's like those two get bumped up so fast. I'm like,
I had that immediately too.
The weight one where I can carry more is always when I bump.
Oh my god, let's get into that. I like to pick things up.
This is the biggest pet peeve, man.
I like to pick things up. I was getting some cool suits and stuff like that, but I'm dying every 2 steps because the CO2 is off the charts.
You got to get bodybuilder. You can increase your carry weight.
And then I finally remembered at the lodge that like I have a storage like thing, so I've been putting everything in there. But after every mission, I have to go back. Is there one on the ship?
There's a ship storage you can access like right in your inventory. So I just put all my resources to my ship so I can use that anyway.
I've been going back to the lodge every time.
You can give them to the ship. You can give them to the people. I've been giving them to the people. I give a lot
to Vass. I'm like, here you go, buddy. You're a robot. You can carry it.
But yeah, so like inventory in RPGs is kind of inevitable. I've never seen a good way to do it, because you're just like collecting tons of stuff. I mean, you could pick up wrenches and shelves and stuff. You can pick up everything in this game. But like Jared says, if you pick up too much, it affects, you can't run. You can't run at all. You basically, I had too much and I couldn't figure it out. So I'm like, why do I die as soon as I'm running? And I thought it was because I got burned, because during the fight I got burned. So I was like, oh, I need to get healed. Went to the doctor and he's like, I'll heal you. And then I run out of the doctor's office, still
collapse immediately.
Doc, you did nothing.
So I finally figured out, I'm carrying all this stuff. So I got, and then you can't fast travel for some reason if you got.
When you're fat,
yeah. So it's like this game.
It's always like, you're too fat to fast travel. I mean, no, I'm not.
This game has punished you for picking up stuff, man. It does not.
But you can pick up everything. There's this cool, like old timey car, like motorcycle I want.
I got a duck, a wooden duck.
Did any of you find that like stuffed cat, and when you pick it up, it goes doo 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 boop, and then it like says something?
I want that. How far have you guys gotten in the beginning? Well, Michael's gotten farther than us, but Jared, have you done like the first artifacts?
I did the first artifact, like the first main mission, and then I did a bunch of side quests. Well, not a bunch. I did like 3.
Okay, yeah, that's about. I did the first artifact, but then I went to this other planet and got like 2 more artifacts, so that's where I'm at. And I saved the lady who's been missing for a while. She's part of Constellation.
Oh yeah.
So I just saved her.
Liked her at first. Then I was like, oh, you're kind of cool, and put her on my crew. Gets so annoying so fast. I'm like, you're such a whiny lady. I kicked her out. I was like, you gotta go. I'm getting Sam. Come on, Sam. Come back over here. I
haven't put an outpost yet. Have you guys put an outpost?
No, I haven't yet. That's what
I can't find a good planet that I want to.
Apparently, Carlos said there's a mission with that Vass gives you that kind of gives you a mini, because that's one thing this game's bad about. No tutorials whatsoever.
No, not at all.
I don't know how to do anything. I'm like, the space stuff took me so long to figure out actually how to maneuver around properly and actually fight with some sort of capability.
I have trouble with that, but everything kills me. Like every other ship is so much better at flight.
I couldn't turn on my flashlight, so I'm like walking in this mine in pitch darkness. somehow completed that mine. I don't know how. And then I couldn't figure out how to get to the crew screen because, like to assign the crew to your ship and stuff.
Mm.
And it's just on the start menu, and I didn't even look, but that took me forever. So yeah, like Michael said, not great at telling you what to do. Which is, I mean, if games where they tell you what to do kind of bugs too, but this one, there's got to be like a happy medium to this because, like, I don't like hand holding, but I also don't really want to not know what to do. But
yeah, so how I went through it is I kind of mainline story missions mostly in the beginning because I was like, oh, that's probably the best way you're going to get to learn how to fly, learn how to build an outpost, learn how to build your ship, learn how to do all this. I have not hit a tutorial mission at all, and I am probably I would say I'm decently. I've done quite a bit. There's a kind of a big moment later on where you get to see a temple of the artifacts and everything. It's a big moment in the game, and I hit that point. I'm like, how do I not know how to do anything in this game? So just kind of like just became trial and error for me. I'm like, I'm just gonna go figure this out, and then I don't know if you guys saw my chat on Instagram. I went into the ship builder. That was such a mistake. I was in there for hours, not joking, hours. Because there's a mission, there's a side like activity, it's not even a mission, to where you go and you can get a pretty good ship right off the bat. It's like something you learn about, and then you go figure it out. It's called the Mantis side mission if you want to do it. If you want to do it, but and so I kind of just deconstructed that ship and was building my own ship. And there's a lot of rules to building the ships, like everything, has to be connected. You have to have a certain amount of things. You have to have proper fuel and everything. But I wanted to also look really cool. And man, oh man, so many reconstructions for hours and hours and hours. And finally, I hit a point, and I'm still not happy with it because they have a weird thing where like certain items you can flip around and point any which way. Some items you like, I just want this one piece to be on the bottom. I just want it to be on the bottom of the ship, but you can't flip it over. You can change it this way. You can't change it this way. Oh my god, it's so annoying. But
I found a space station where they sell ships. They're like, oh, we're the best at selling ships, and they're so cool. And mine was so lame, but they're so expensive. I was like, I have no money, and he's like, well, come back when you really want a ship. I was like, come back, you jerk.
Better spaceman.
I got a job with like UPS. I got to go deliver the package. I haven't done that yet. I'm
a like CEO's personal assistant.
Yeah. So there's lots of jobs in this game.
Yeah.
There's bounty. There's this cool like bounty hunter dude that I saw in the bar, and I was talking to him. And
I killed a bounty hunter for someone.
You got a cool helmet.
I didn't mean to though.
Yeah.
I was trying to persuade him to leave her alone, and he was like, "Nah." I was like, "Oh no."
Let's talk about like the first choice you have to make in this game. So at the very beginning, there's this pirates that kind of raid the mining company you're at, and you got to tell the robot tells you to go like they're gonna still keep shooting at us if you don't go like stop them. So you got to go to their base, and you get the option to either just kill this. He's got a cool helmet. This pirate has a real cool helmet. And did you guys kill him, or did you guys persuade him to stop?
I persuaded him.
Did you, Jared?
I don't remember this. When was this?
It's like the very beginning. The robot, he's like, we got to go over to this planet because they're going to keep fighting us if we don't.
I think I just killed him.
Okay.
I have not been kind to pirates. I just.
Yeah, I persuaded him. I'm like, you can have my ship. I'll trade you. And he's like, oh, I don't want that anymore. So what do we think about the combat in this game?
It's all right.
It's all right?
Yeah, I like it.
I'm very much. I like it a lot because old Bethesda games combat's never been my favorite. Like they have the VAT system in Fallout because the combat's not great in Fallout. Like they have the system where you can zoom in and target a body part and you have your percentages or whatever. But it feels so much better in this game. Like actually shooting. Like I just finished a on what is it, Aquila, the Marshall's quest kind of like line thing. I just finished. That's where the last guy was talking my ear off. But finished that and had a massive. I haven't killed that many people, and I literally got to him. He's like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "There were so many people. How did you get here?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." But so that's the combat for. I'm also playing keyboard and mouse, which I'm not great at, but I do find like first person shooters, or well, I say first person. I am playing in third person, except for like my main weapon is a scoped weapon, so it aims down sight whenever I aim in. But like they just feel so good on mouse. It's so satisfying when you're shooting that. But the space combat, like I said, it took me quite a while to get used to it. There are a lot of it's I don't know how it is on controller because there's a lot of buttons, like trying to switch between all the levels of your shields and your weapons and everything.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Pretty difficult, especially when I'm not like fully comfortable of where keys are around my hand. So that's difficult. And then
it's not too bad with the controller because you just use the D-pad.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be easy because mine I toggled it to a button on my mouse over here, and then I have to do the controls of my main movement, so I can't move while I do it, and so I'm like changing all that. But and then I found out with Carlos that to actually get maneuverability, you want to put your throttle of your engine in the middle, because I would always put it all the way down so I could turn real fast. But the middle, like you turn perfectly, like it is just great for maneuvering. I was like, I did not realize that, but so it's growing on me.
I am always out of ammo. I never have ammo.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So I've been using a laser mostly.
Okay.
That
space
mining,
or like
the
mining laser? Yeah. The mining laser.
That only does like 4 damage.
That's all I've been using.
Do you loot bodies after you kill them?
Yes, and I'm always out of ammo. I don't know what's going on.
Just in my one main gun, I probably have 3,000 bullets.
Jeez, dude, I have a hard time finding ammo too. Not as bad as Joseph. I'm not using the cutter, but I have to like I'll go shoot someone, run real fast, loot them real quick, and then hide behind something. But
that's another thing that took me a while to figure out is that you can have like loadouts. Before I run out of bullets in like 10 seconds, have to press start, get into my inventory, find a gun, and then
get back out.
Yeah, so that took a while, but combat for me, it's not as good as probably like Mass Effect 2 and 3. It's just a lot looser, I guess you could say. It's hard.
There's no like cover system or anything like that.
Yeah, you need a cover. Okay, here's another big pet peeve of mine. The freaking party members, they don't do crap.
I don't care that they don't do crap, but they stand right in front of me. And I shoot them, and I don't feel bad because they get right in front of me. But they're like, why'd you do that?
They are never helpful. I'm always like over here, and they'll be like way back in the background just saying, oh, yeah, I'm getting them. And they're not even helping out.
I'm really considering like saying, hey, you stay at the ship or something. Like, I don't want you on my party because the robot's always like right here looking at me when I'm shooting. I'm like, please move.
Big.
Or the chick is like directly in front of me when I'm shooting and I'm shooting her and I'm like, dang it.
They like to get in the doorways too when you're trying to like cover.
Oh, I can't tell you how there are so many pirates and there is so little room. And she just like blocked the door and made me so mad.
They always get hit by my grenades. Like wherever I'm throwing a grenade, they run off to it. I'm like, why did you run to that? You clearly saw me chunk a grenade over there.
Yeah, so they need to. It would be nice if you could give them commands like in Mass Effect, like stay.
Oh yeah,
stay in
that way, or like have a marker for them.
Just go for a while.
I would love that.
Come back when I'm done.
Just stand there.
Go loot. Loot. I'll do this.
Bring me ammo, and we'll be fine.
That was my biggest argument with Joseph. Like, I have some gripes about the game. That was the first one. I was like, the stupid robot is in the way, dude.
I don't even have a robot on my team. He just stayed at the house. I guess
He's always at my ship, like docking whenever I get in there. He just stands at the bottom of the. I should have taken pictures of my ship so I could show you guys. But
I love talking to him though.
Next time we'll take pictures. We forgot to take pictures. You like talking to him?
Yeah, I like having conversations with him.
That one guy, Barrett, he is always trying to give me stuff.
He's too joyful. That guy unnerves me, man. You can stay that and the other. What's his name? The guy with the weird hat.
Looks like what is his name?
Oh,
I can't remember. He weirds
me
out.
Is that Mateo?
Mateo.
Like yeah. I'm like, get your weird hat and go away. Leave me alone.
Take your weird hat out of here. I was gonna party up with everyone that like the fan guys, like, yeah, come on. And then the mining guys, I was like, yeah, come on. But then I ran out of room on the ship. So
I'm inviting people. You guys want to talk about, have you guys done much side quests? Do you want to talk about some side quests you've done?
I haven't done a lot. I saved a tree. A tree was in danger. So I had to go.
Where you first get onto like New Atlantis?
Yeah, and there's this guy looking at a tree, and he's planted Q-tips all over the place. And the Q-tips are really hard to pick up for some reason because you got to get it on the stem. You can't pick it up by the thing, so you're like trying to put your cursor on the stem. And then one of the kids stole the Q-tips and he sold it, and I was like, dang it. But yeah, I think that's the only one I've done.
Really?
I did find a meat processing plant that looks like it's been like it's got blood all over it, so it looks like something went down there, but I couldn't figure out what was going on there. So,
where did you see that? Was it under the lodge?
No.
Did you go under the lodge? Yeah.
I haven't got to the well yet.
I went to the well, and they were like cutting up fish, and I was like, man, there's a lot of blood.
Yeah, I went down there, but I just found a locked door, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to be here yet.
Yeah. So I did most of my side quests on Mars. First one was this little kid. He is like, hey, hang up my art around Mars because everyone's depressed and it needs to be happy. I've drawn Space Frog, and I was like, the heck, Space Frog? And they're like, the frog in space. And I was like, fair enough.
Was this guy Johnny?
So I posted up this little girl's like pictures of Space Frog everywhere. And she's like, thank you. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, don't mention it. And then that little girl's friend, because there's only like 2 children on Mars, and they're depressed and sad because they don't have other children to play with. So I met her friend, and he's like, I was like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, my mom, she's been depressed ever since my dad died, and she doesn't come out of the house. And he's like, can you talk to her? And I was like, I guess. So I had to go talk to her, and she's like, thank you. And then the big side quest I did was there is some miners on Mars, and they're like, we don't have equipment. Our equipment's old, and like we can't meet quota. But the guy's shady, so he won't get us more equipment. So I was like, I'll get it for you guys. I was an ex-miner, so this is how I became that dude's personal assistant, because he's like, you gotta become that guy's assistant, approve our requests on his computer once you get good with him. And I was like, okay. But he had the shipment that he wanted, but it was held up because he owed like a ton of taxes to the government of Mars. So I went to the governor, and he's like, hey, you do this little mission of finding the ship of mine and destroying it, and I'll let that slide. I was like, ah. So we went to find the ship. There's pirates on there. So we boarded the ship. He's like, what are you doing on here? And I was like, I just want to say this is destroyed. We don't need to shoot each other. And he's like, that's fine. And like, so I let the pirates keep the ship. The guy gave me the evidence that the governor was shady. And so I blackmailed the governor, and he's like, just take your shipment and extra credits. And I was like, okay. And then I got the miners their stuff. But one of the miners told the main dude that he'd go get it, and he never came back. And I was like, oh, dang it. So he was trying to take all the new mining equipment to sell it, to hawk it off to get some money for himself. And I was like, dude, you can't do that. And so he drew his gun on me, and I was like, no. And then I shot him dead. And then I got the miners their stuff, and they're like, thanks. And that was pretty fun.
Oh, let's see. Side quest. I joined a gang, and then I helped that gang they became a part of the police department, which was a weird turn I didn't expect, because they were like fighting with another gang on Neon, and they were like, yeah, can't let them because they're worse than us. And then the cop guy was like, hey, why don't you guys just join our force, and then you won't have to be gang members anymore, and you'll get paid, and you can live in nice places, and we'll kill all of them. And I was like, okay, cool, you guys are done, I'm gonna leave you alone, bye. And then I became a drug mule for a little bit for a guy.
Dang, you went
you went to the dark side. Yeah,
I was on Neon for a while. His name was Yannick, and weird dude. Became his drug mule, and then it basically became a full-time job, because I would like go clock in at this place where I had to like meet up with someone who would tell me where the contraband was, but I literally had to like make stuff. It looked like they were definitely inspired by the Fly episode of Breaking Bad. Like it looked like just that set. And I'd walk around in this big yellow suit and I'd mix the stuff and then put it in the bin and then do that 3 times. And then my shift was over and I could go talk to the contraband lady. So those are like the smaller ones. And then I did 2 of the big like faction ones. I guess the gang one was one of the faction-ish ones, but then the other one was the marshal on Aquila, the kind of western city. And yeah, I became a deputy, and then like it becomes this whole like controversy, like who's doing what. Everyone, there's these old military guys are trying to take over land and get revenge on something. They were part of the first, whatever. They're still like acting like they're in the war and everything. And then I had to go get information from like 12 million different people because no one knows anything, and everyone wants a favor. And then I went to a place called the Red Mile, and the proprietor of the place was like, "Hey, I can tell you where this guy is, but you got to run the Red Mile so people are entertained and I make money." I was like, that sounds kind of awesome. Like she was like, it's like a big pit, just a big snowy planet with a big pit. You got to run down and touch a beacon and run back, but fight things along the way. I was like, that sounds awesome. That sounds so much fun. So boring. Oh my god. So like it's just the same enemy the whole time. It's these like snowy triceratop looking things, but they shoot acid at you. But the acid doesn't really do anything. It just staggers you. So you do this. So you just pull trigger, pull trigger, pull trigger.
You should have used a motorcycle or something.
I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I didn't have one. So I'm very disappointed in the Red Mile's not very fun when you get to the point. But then when you get to actually the dude that she gives you the information for, that's the big fight I had. That was very fun because people everywhere. It's hectic and crazy. But and then I don't. You guys should do that one where you get the ship. I won't spoil it because it's very funny and fun. But the Mantis one, do try to check that one out. That's the Mantis side quest.
Yeah, I have it on my list.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's funny. It's not like anything big or anything, but it's a fun little nod.
You just want us to build a ship for hours.
Yeah, I want to put you in the ship thing. But any other small side quests? Just kind of a few random things. But
I met a cruise. There's like a space cruise, and they're like, "Can you do some interviews for us?" And I was like, "Okay." Or they wanted some questions asked, and they're like, one lady wanted to date me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I haven't really flirted that much with people yet because
just the robot.
It just wants me to flirt
with the robot the whole
time. Like, yes, really? He's a rugged, attractive man, but I'm not really swinging that way.
He looks like a YouTuber I watch, and it was very distracting. Do you guys go to Earth?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I went to Earth.
I didn't land there. Can you land there? I just went to it. Oh, you can?
I landed there, and it just looked like a desert, and it was all like sandy and stuff. I was like, this is depressing. And then I went into a cave, and that was about it.
We had on, what was it, Friday? Yeah, because Carlos took off a whole week for this free game. And we were just chatting on Discord while we were playing, and he was like, "God, it's so hot in my house." Because his AC was having trouble keeping up with the 100 and something degree weather. And I was like, "Well, just bring your PC over here and play over here." So he comes over here, and while he's like setting stuff up, the ship comes in, and it like, they like hail you in space or whatever.
Yeah.
And Carlos was like, "Oh yeah, he just wants to hear about your ship's warranty." Carlos just joking around, like he's just hailing you, calling you about that. Literally, the guy goes, "Hey, I want to check on your ship's warranty for this," and I was like, "Carlos, he literally just said that." He was like, "What?" So some dude like trying to sell me insurance for my ship, and then he flew off. It's like, you got to be kidding me,
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
One more gripe another gripe about the game.
I was going to say, I have a lot of gripes.
It's okay, sweet. So this is probably better on PC, but you know how you can pick up everything?
Mm-hmm.
The cops got onto me because I accidentally picked up a cup off the table of the wherever I was at, and she's like, "Cops, get him!" And I was like, "What did I do? I didn't even know I picked it up." And he's like, "You're coming with me," and I was like, "No, I'm not." We had a shootout, and I was like, "Oh, dang it!"
So did they like ban you from the planet or something?
I loaded a quick save. I didn't want to deal with that.
I think you.
But I was like, I didn't even notice I pushed anything, but I apparently picked up a glass, and I had to kill that guy. And then my teammate was like, "You're a murderer. I'm not going to deal with you anymore." I was like, "Way to have my back." So I just ran off.
So I don't really know about the consequences for doing naughty stuff. I'm guessing it's like kind of like Red Dead, where the system puts a bounty on your head and you can't go over there for a while unless you pay them off. So I don't know. If they have something like that, I'll probably be really naughty.
Yeah, I know Carlos had a bounty in some star system or something.
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten one yet.
If you're in New Atlantis, go behind the counter so you don't pick anything up and then talk to the person. Because, geez.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
No. Let's go to pros and cons for the game. Music. Have you guys anything stand out music wise?
The title screen was okay. Like, yeah, I let it run for a little while. Yeah.
It almost sounds like KOTOR at times. And like, this is kind of depressing, but yeah, nothing really stands up in the music. Okay, pros and cons. So let's do some pros. My pro would be that there's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to learn. So I like games that just eat a lot of hours up. So that's good for me. Jared, you got a pro?
It's big, and it seems like there's a ton of side missions that will keep me entertained. So it does feel like a universe that you're just like traveling in, I guess.
Okay. Michael, what's your biggest pro?
Biggest pro? A simple one would be everything's voice acted. So I don't want to read for 5 minutes.
Oh,
how many people there are? It's quite nice.
That's actually one of my cons.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to be reading these people?
My first con is the main character isn't voice acted. So like Shepard, he could talk, but this guy can't talk. The one thing with Shepard though, he wouldn't follow like those dialogue.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
paraphrased.
That. Yeah. But I do kind of wish the main character was voice acted. So that's one of my cons. Jared, what's a con?
Real fast, speaking about voice actors, it sounded like it was like what's that guy's name? The voice actor for Sonic.
Ben Schwartz?
No, not the movies.
No.
The
games
and stuff.
I have no idea who that is.
It's like Roger Craig Smith or something.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Sound like he was the first
probably
dude you
talked
to. You know that Lynn chick in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Or like henchman or whatever.
Yeah, Heller, I think his name is.
Yeah, I think that was him. And then I heard another like anime voice actor. I was like, it's Kyle Herbert, Gohan, adult Gohan, voice actor. I didn't verify any of these, but I'm just like, there's some voice acters in this, and
there probably is. There's probably a ton.
Cons.
Other than the giant robot in your way.
Though that is so like, oh my god. There's some. I think like what you guys were saying. How I don't like hand holding, but there's some things that I needed like a little explanation on.
Yeah.
Mainly like menu stuff, but that's about it.
Michael, what's your biggest con?
Biggest con would probably be like the actual like idea of the game, because they take because it's like the whole thing is, hey, you have 1,000 planets to explore, but I mean like this is a part of it, but the space travel of basically just clicking through menus just to get somewhere is so taking out of time wasting. Like I would have much rather had 150 or 30 planets that are fully fleshed out rather than hey, click, zoom, and actually let me fly around like Johnny and I were.
So I thought you could fly around, so I'm like, oh sweet, there's the marker. I'm gonna go fly over there.
Yeah,
I wasn't going anywhere, so I was like, I guess you just gotta fast travel to it.
Yeah, they had Alana Pierce did a video where I think she was somewhere around Earth, or whatever, and she was flying to Pluto, and she literally just left it there for like 6 or 7 hours, and she finally got there.
It's like, really?
It's like way more of a space. I'm like, it's not fun though. Like this isn't like a racing sim. It's a space adventure game. I don't want to be doing that, but at the same time, like the whole clicking through menus to fast travel, it's like it's so tedious and time wasting, and like I just end up trying to find the fastest way to do the least amount of button clicks to get somewhere.
Can you set it to where, like, when you get onto a planet where it's not like breathable atmosphere, can you just have the suit magically appear, or do you have to go into the menu?
You can.
You can. It doesn't work great. Because that was one of my gripes is why can't you just have your spacesuit on when you need it on? Then there is an option, I think it's LB for Xbox, that says make spacesuit disappear when you're on habitable planets. But for some reason, it doesn't work for me.
Really?
My spacesuit's still on. So I actually have to go in the menu and take it off. The helmet will go off and on depending where I am, but the spacesuit won't. So I don't know.
That's weird. That's been working fine for me. Like if I actually asked Carlos that when he was over because I was like, I'm tired of because I was doing the same thing, taking my helmet off, taking everything off, and then he was like, no, you just go in here and you toggle these settings, then it'll pop off automatically. So I haven't had an issue with that yet.
That's good to know.
Try it, Jared. See if it works for you. I don't know why it's not working for me. So what are we on? Pro. It was easy to get into, I say. Like we said, the combat's pretty like intuitive. Everything I haven't like I've trouble finding stuff in the menus, but I haven't like had trouble doing anything. Just a flashlight. Couldn't find the flashlight. But the controls seem pretty easy. Even the flight, I think, was pretty easy. I get because it's a lot like I can't remember what the game was called, but that Star Wars X-wing game that kind of came back a while ago. It's very similar to that kind of flight sim. So it wasn't too hard to get into that. Jared, any more pros for you?
The flight, I thought it was kind of like a more, I don't want to say dumbed down, but like an easier Ace Combat, just the way it handles. I do like switching energy from like your engines to like guns or your hyperdrive. I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, I think that was a big pro. I kind of like being in space. It doesn't really want you to be out there most of the time. It wants you to like be on planets and talk to people. But I kind of like being out in space and then like finding pirates and stuff like that.
Yeah, Michael, you got another pro?
Let's see here. I'm trying to think of another good one.
Don't think too hard.
I know.
It's not just kidding.
It took me a minute to actually. You were saying you got to do it pretty quick. It took me a minute to actually click for me to actually hit the enjoyable points. But definitely, like I feel like I've enjoyed the side mission. Like everyone talks about how they're really enjoying the main story. I'm like I've just enjoyed the side stuff. Exploring random bases and junk and. Like, I don't want to deal with you people or whatever, but
like I don't give a crap about the lodge people.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just mainly going back to the playing really well for me is really like I'm enjoying the combat, which is something I normally don't do in like Bethesda, Fallout. I enjoyed in Skyrim because anything with a bow and arrow I'm in. But like Fallout, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I was gonna ask someone that plays like Bethesda games, is this kind of like Fallout? Does it feel like a Fallout game, or does it feel like its own thing?
Yeah, with like the structure of like they have factions or something that are in all of these things, like Fallout, Skyrim. You have the weird, like what's the UC that you can join right in New Atlantis at that kiosk, whatever that dude talks about. That's basically that's one of the factions you can do.
The Vanguards or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like side mission stories, but more main than just like the side ones because they go on for quite a while. But the main thing is different is just the combat is so improved compared to Fallout, so improved. The worlds. I haven't seen. I mean, New Atlantis is pretty crazy. Like Neon, I was so glad to leave that planet after I finished the faction because it's a freaking maze, man. It's so obnoxious. But like,
yeah, New Atlantis very much like the Citadel.
Yeah, it's how I feel. I feel lost in it, but it's also the game it also just feels like it's too much because it's so easy. Now I just like I pull up my little focus meter. What do you call it? What's that thing called?
I don't know.
the scanner that we'll go for.
Oh, the scanner.
Oh yeah, that thing helps a lot.
The scanner. Then I point to my ship and there goes my hat. Point and I fast travel to my ship, like because I'm like, this is just a kind of a hassle rather than enjoyment to go through because you have just the simple districts. Nothing's really flowing. Everything's kind of sectioned off and load separate. Like I would much rather just live in a place and not be drawn out to menus. Is my biggest problem with the game. Like
because I found that even in that side mission with the tree, all the stuff is on New Atlantis. But I found it was easier just to take the train to like all of them instead of traveling to them. If I could get my jetpack to work better, because mine pretty much just go poosh, poosh. But like if you could actually fly over there, maybe that'd be better. And I think this is a lot of people's gripe is that there's no ground vehicles for when you're on a planet or something.
Good Lord.
And that could really help.
Yeah. Like I was praying for a Mako, but now hearing that there is no land vehicles, I'm a little sad.
No.
Earth, I was just running everywhere and I was like getting tired of it.
Yeah. So maybe one more con. I think like Jared was saying, the main quest hasn't really gripped me yet. It just seems very much like something from Mass Effect. I'm surprised how much this game feels like other sci-fi games. You got Mass Effect and Outer Worlds and stuff like that. It all kind of feels. I guess that's why it was kind of easy to pick up because it all kinds of feels the same. But right now, biggest con was like the story hasn't really gripped me yet. Hopefully, I haven't played it a lot, so hopefully that changes the more I go. But Jared, do you have one last con for us?
I was gonna say the same thing. It just feels like every other. It feels like a hodgepodge of like Mass Effect, KOTOR, and like something else I played. I kind of wish we didn't even have the story, and it was just me and the robot like hanging out on planets. Because like I said, I don't really care for anyone at the lodge. I mean, they're okay, but they're not like gripping me, or I want to go on adventures with them. Mm-hmm. So I'm very tempted to be like, screw you guys, I'm just gonna go adventure.
They kind of need like the Mass Effect thing where the loyalty missions.
Yeah,
that would be kind of nice. Michael, any last cons?
I will say one more thing with the main story, even though I said this main story hasn't grabbed me yet. The point where I left off to go do side quests, something really cool did happen, but I just hadn't gone back to it because I was like, I wanted to go get actual stuff, get some.
Yeah.
But yeah, my last con would be incorporating the customization of your character, but also to everything else. Like so far, the ship customization is not too varied in like there's only 3 different visual cockpits, or 4 that I've seen so far. There's like the different, like maybe 4 or 5 different habs. You go to the suits. There aren't that many different suits that I've seen so far. There's some cool ones, but like the clothing is so upsetting. Like that. That's something in like Skyrim. You had 3 different pieces of stuff. You had the armor, chest piece, head piece, whatever. This is just like I've gone to New Atlantis, I've gone to Neon, I've gone to all these different places trying to look at all these different stores, and I'm like, I hate all of your clothes. They all look the same. They're all boring. I want something interesting. I finally got one interesting one out of a side quest, but it also has a weird like gas mask thing. So you can see my character's beautiful face. But
poncho.
I just got a pink poncho.
Oh,
like,
really?
It's like pink and like orange.
I finally like my spacesuit. It's like I look like a Top Gun pilot.
Oh, I look like Doom
because it's got like that blackout mask. But
it's
got, like it's
cool. Mine's gold. Wearing a gold spacesuit.
Like if Gears of War and Doom guy were mixed is what I look like. Just a big
You don't look like Isaac Clarke.
I'm a Krogan is what I am. But
what are you gonna say about running?
Me or
what
Jared?
Are you gonna? I think it was you. Because Jared said he runs like a girl, but
I don't know. Oh yeah, they do. He runs like Mass Effect 3. Shepard's run Mass Effect 3 is so stupid. And I was going to say also something else, because you were talking about the cons of using a controller and not being able to pick up stuff. There's cons on the other direction too, which doesn't make any sense to me in the slightest. So on mouse and keyboard, you can either like toggle sprint, you can have a hold sprint, which is like a little left shift. But then you can also like toggle to where like your normal walking speed turns to, or your normal like, jog turns to a walk. So there's not like the control of the stick you guys have. So even Carlos is actually playing this on the controller, which is kind of weird. But so the walking speed, what pisses me off so much is like the NPCs, they're like, hey, follow me, we'll go here. Your walking speed is about 3/4 theirs. So no matter what, they're just always getting further and further in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not have the base walking speed, the NPC walking speed? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Your run speed is ridiculous.
You are very fast.
Because you'll go super fast, and then your CO2 is going whoosh.
Yeah.
But
then that's why it comes in the combat, because they're not there to help you, because they're like still in the elevator somewhere walking up to you.
What difficulty are you guys playing on?
I just did normal.
Is there a difficulty? Yeah, just normal.
I'm doing it on hard.
Ooh. Hard.
I wanted to real fast. Did you guys, when you're first talking to Barrett, did he make a Spy Kids reference? Because he's like, here's this watch. It actually tells time. And I was like,
I don't know.
It's a weird reference to make there.
That'd be funny.
All right. I think we're all going to be continuing this game for a while, though. So, does anyone know how long this game is? Like, has anyone completed it yet that you know of?
Apparently, Carlos was saying that he has a friend who's on like New Game Plus 4.
Dang.
That has to be just like mainline, because I guess there's something because they've never done a New Game Plus in any of their games before, and so there's something that incorporates with something that makes it actually worth
17 hours.
So yeah, I don't think the main quest would take that long, but
okay. Last thoughts on this. I think I'm having fun so far. It's a play. I think if anyone who's interested in sci-fi games, anyone who like Mass Effect, definitely a play for them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. The more I play it, the more I enjoy it, and the more I get to get into the stories and meet the characters and everything. And like it's a very beautiful game. I just built a really nice new PC, so that helps a lot. But like, it's so deep. Like, even they're always detailed in their games, but like even like just the simple textures on the small clothing or the weird lockers. You open up a locker and there's all these individual items. It's crazy how much detail's in it.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be in. It's just the only problem I'm having is just the rips out of it with the menus of like, I want to just be in there. Just leave me in there and let me play and move and run around and do stuff. I don't want to be drawn out all the time, but
too many cutscenes.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
The thing I'm going to say is I'm really enjoying the side quests like a lot more than the story. So I'll probably do all of those before I continue the story. Because that was honestly having fun meeting these people, doing their side quests, and then like just leveling up.
Yeah, that's kind of a big gripe on the later 2 Mass Effects. They didn't have enough side quests, like especially 3. You basically had loyalty missions, and that was it.
You didn't have time. The world was ending.
I know. So I'm enjoying. I like side quests. I'm a big side quest guy. So hopefully they put some fun ones in there. But yeah, so that's it for Starfield. Our first impressions. We will be back probably in a month or so to talk about our final impressions. If I've gotten that far, I might be in the middle.
It's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute for this one.
So
I was like, I've been making ships this whole time.
I have a fleet of ships. I haven't gotten anywhere, but I have so many ships.
So we'll be back when we finish it. We don't know when that will be, but we'll be back to talk about it. So like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.